Boom, this message found you right on time. God takes you to a place before you level up, before you reach the next step, before you get shown the path that is meant for you. God takes you to a low. God takes you to a low that maybe you've never experienced before. If you are able to relate to feeling a little lost with your direction right now, if you are able to relate to not knowing what your next step is going to be, maybe you have some options, maybe you have somewhat of a direction, but you don't necessarily know what the exact route is. This message is for you. Now, if you are not in those circumstances, this message is still powerful and good because, as we know, this game is very cyclical, and you will ride the dragon at periods of time in your life only to be brought back down to a low to show you a lesson that you weren't aware of. I am currently in this situation, and I want to tell you guys that a lot of times when I speak on these situations that I'm currently experiencing, many of you relate. So, I have a feeling that there will be people attracted to this message in similar circumstances. Now, I am at a specific crossroads where I was solo traveling the world for 6 months. I had the greatest time of my life. I experienced the literal greatest period of my life. I have so many stories. If you guys are interested in some of those stories, I could tell those stories on here. I just don't know how interested viewers would be. But we will keep it to the spiritual hippy dippy realm. Okay. God tells me one thing recently. Now, that is to connect with Him, show gratitude for my situation, and be patient. Those three things are the messages that I've been receiving lately. Now, it is difficult for me to be patient, and if you are a person who has always felt like your life is destined to be something special, like you are going to have some circumstances that are special, that are unique. You are destined for greatness. You are going to do something big. If you have always felt this way, because let's be real, not everybody feels this way. There is a lot of people in this world who do not have that feeling, who do not have that desire, who do not have that fire that is within them that tells them, I need to do something special. I need to do something big. I need to shoot for the stars. Okay, so if this is you, it's very likely that maybe you assume that the best is always coming. Maybe you assume that you're going to hit the ground running and something is going to always land. Okay, I'm on to the next thing. I'm building the next goal. I'm building the next plan. This is me. This is me to a T. So if you can relate to this, we are one and the same. God is trying to tell me that I need to be patient, and you need to be patient as well. Because this could be potentially your greatest leveling up you've ever experienced. And it's right on the other side of a little bit of pain, a little bit of suffering, a little bit of restructuring, and a little bit of knocking your ego down to realize, yeah, this law of attraction, this manifestation stuff, it's cool and it works. But who's in control? You need to ride the wave. You need to trust and refine internally. Remember this, because these periods where you thought everything was going to work out, you thought it was going to be seamless, you thought you were on to the next thing. These periods where you get knocked down and you realize, maybe I'm not in as much control as I thought I was. Maybe I underestimated the fact that I can't really steer this thing as well as I thought I could. Which leads you to an organic surrender, which leads you to an organic letting go. Not to say you don't continue to refine internally. You try to connect with God. You follow the semen retention. You follow the sexual energy conservation. You follow the fasting. You follow the prayer. You follow the meditation. You do all the spiritual practices that have worked for you in the past. And you get back on the boat to remember, I'm smaller than I think I am. And I need to give it to God. I need to give it to the plan. I need to give it to the universe. Because I don't have as much power as I thought I did. And when you organically surrender, you'll find that the path will be shown, the direction will be shown. But I want to remind you here as well, and this could be the most important part of this video, is that if you've resonated up until this point of exactly what I've been speaking about, you are destined to not play small. You are destined to take a risk. You are destined to go out there and take that jump. Maybe there's circumstances that are being presented to you right now. Maybe you have a rough feeling of where your life could be headed. Maybe you have a few options available to you. And maybe those options have a different ranking criteria of risk. Maybe there's an option shown to you that is an extreme level of risk. Maybe there's an option that is a medium tier risk. And maybe, just maybe, there's an option that does not have that much risk, that takes you back to that old place, that old frequency, that regular schmegular lifestyle. And at one point you prayed for that lifestyle. At one point you wanted to be in that position. God is telling me and God is telling you that this new frequency you've curated, that this new version that you want to be, that you know you want to be, is going to require some risk, is going to require you to step in to a version of you that is a little uncertain. Those circumstances that are coming, it's a little uncertain. It's maybe a little bit of a risk. It's maybe, guess what? It's maybe this. It's maybe throwing yourself into what? Throwing yourself into what? Throwing yourself into the fire. Throwing yourself into the fire. Maybe you don't know what's going to happen there. But what is happening is you are being prepared to take that risk. There is no longer time to fear what is going on. The universe has positioned you into places where you should be ready to step into a new version. Circumstances have presented themselves to you to show you you are capable, to show you you can do this, you can take the next step. Realize that the things you're praying for, the things you're manifesting, the things you're working towards are being presented to you maybe in sort of an unconventional way. It could be a situation that's unconventional. It could be a situation where maybe the old frequency people that you associated with, and maybe you still associate with, they would be jaw-dropped at taking a risk like that. They would be stunned. Now, you don't have to tell them. You don't have to tell anyone about this new direction. You don't have to tell a soul, and in fact, you shouldn't. In fact, you should keep this new info to yourself. Don't share with people this direction. Don't share with people about where you think you're headed. God, I feel this message in my heart that is going to resonate with you out there. This is going to require a big step, a new you. Maybe those of you out there have been shedding some old skin recently, letting go of the past things that maybe held you down, that you always knew you could transcend. You always knew you would eventually let those things go. Maybe you're at a crossroads between that new version that's no longer stuck in those routines, no longer stuck with those habits, no longer stuck with this mental loop that you were in for some time. It is time to let go. It is time to let go of that old version. Watch how the doors open. I'm not saying this is easy, and this requires the patience. This requires the patience because maybe the path hasn't been shown quite yet, the exact route. Connect with God, move away from that old version, those old places that you know don't serve you anymore. Move away from those old places. Watch how it's so strategic, how all the little things start to align. All the little things. Everything is orchestrated so perfectly. You wait, and you trust. And you know deep down that there is something coming. And watch it come into your life. Whoo! This is powerful. This is powerful, people. So, this message will find the right ears. Peace.